The story begins and we see that at 17 children from the same city come out of their houses and run in a particular direction and never return home because they disappeared. Although CCTV cameras and alarms were installed in their houses. However, by the time their parents found out, it was too late. It was only through the CCTV camera that we came to know that the children ran away, making the same pose, which is the pose of a plane, and the timing was the same, 2:17. The thing to note was that all the children were from the same class of the same school. There were a total of 18 children in the class, out of which 17 children disappeared. However, there was only one child who did not disappear. Now, all these children were taught by a teacher named Justine, so first of all, she came under suspicion, and the second child who did not disappear was named Alex. The police were interrogating Justin, Alex, and his parents. However, no result came out of it. 1 month had passed since the investigation. However, there was no trace of the children. Before moving ahead, let me tell you that now the story will be shown from the perspective of each character. That is, we will see the different stories of everyone. First of all, we see the story of school teacher Justine. When she went to school as usual, she was surprised to see that there was only one child in the class, Alex. The other 17 children were not there. Then soon she came to know that all the children had disappeared. Due to suspicion on Justine, she had to face the anger and investigation of the parents. However, Justine was found innocent. However, still all the parents considered her responsible. They said that Justine is a witch who makes children disappear by doing black magic on them. Due to all these allegations, Justine started feeling very disturbed. That is why she started drinking alcohol. The school was also closed while the investigation was going on. However, then after a month, the school was reopened for new children. However, before this, a big parents' meeting is called, in which all the victim parents were also present, that is, the victims whose children went missing. Even today, she was blaming Justin, on which she says in her defense that I am innocent. I have not done anything to the children, rather I love the children. The principal also supports Justin. He said that she is telling the truth, she is innocent. On the contrary, she herself is a victim. However, then a man named Archer from among the parents starts accusing Justin. He even calls her a witch. Soon everyone starts losing control. She was coming to kill Justin. However, the principal defends Justin. She was taken out from there with the security, and she is told to immediately go to her home from here and not go out of the house. After this, Justin comes home sitting in her car. She was really sad with all the things, and that is why she starts drinking alcohol. Then the bell rings. That is why she called out, "Who is it?" However, there is no answer. So she goes and looks through the hole. However, no one is seen outside. She felt very strange. She looked out of the window everywhere. Still no one was found. That is why she relaxed and started to leave. However, suddenly there was a loud knock on the door. So in panic, she said, "Who is it? Can't you understand? Go away from here." After some time, she gathers courage and comes out with a tool. She sees that someone has written a big witch on her car and ran away. The next morning, Justine goes to the police to report. During this time, she sees an officer who is Justine's friend. Then she goes to school. Then the principal tells her that it will be better if you don't come to school. The situation is very bad. Justine says, "So can I talk to Alex?" The principal explains to her that the parents are very angry. You saw it yesterday. So until the matter cools down, you should stay away from the school and especially the children. That is why she leaves from there sadly. Sean meets her officer friend in the bar. Seeing the bandage on his hand, Justine asks, "How did this happen?" He tells that he became hurt during a strange case. Justine tells him that everyone is considering me a witch and someone has also written witch on my car. Then the officer somehow improves her mood. The next day, Justine tells the officer that I think Alex knows something. We should talk to him. However, the officer refuses her, saying that investigation is going on. Let them do their work and you don't get involved in all this. Saying this, he leaves, but Justine does not listen and follows Alex, who is going home from school, and sees him going inside the house. Then she goes and rings the doorbell, but no one comes to open the door. She asks who is inside. There is someone, but there was no response. There was no sound either, as if there was no one inside. Whereas Alex had gone inside a while ago and someone had also opened the door for him. That is why Justine felt something was wrong here. She wanted to know what was going on here. However, all the windows of the house were covered with paper. Then she goes to the back side of the house through the other gate, where luckily a little paper was removed from one window. Justine now peeks through that, and it was completely dark inside the house and two people were sitting in the darkness. She became scared seeing the place, and in a hurry, the shovel kept there falls down. Seeing this, she became even more scared. However, even after this sound, no one comes out. That is why she peeks again, and even now both of them were sitting like statues. She finds all this very strange and she talks to the principal about this, that something is wrong with Alex's parents. Alex is in some problem and you should check there from your side. The principal says that it is okay, I will take care of everything, but you please stay away from all this. After this, Justine goes to the store to get her rings. However, she was completely unaware that a lady is following her. Suddenly, she comes from behind, grabs Justine's hair and throws her down and starts threatening her by showing the bottle that you came home, right? Justine says that I did not do anything, let me go. However, that lady was really angry and starts pouring drink on Justine's face. Meanwhile, the boy working in the store catches that lady and throws her out of there. Then she comes home and sleeps at night. Then she has a dream in which she sees herself going to school alone. As soon as she comes to the class, she sees that all the children were sitting with their heads down. It is 2:17 on the clock and then Alex looks up and smiles strangely. He was looking very scary like a joker, due to which Justine wakes up in fear. Then she tries to sleep again, but as soon as she lies down, she sees an unknown woman on the roof, whose face also resembles that of a joker, due to which she screams in fear. And now she actually wakes up and realizes that she is dreaming within a dream. However, the next day, Justine goes to Alex's house again and tries to talk to him. Alex does not talk to her. He just says, "Don't follow me," and goes to his house. Justine does not listen and goes and knocks on the door again. She says that I know you people are inside, so come out of. However, still the door does not open. This time Justine does not go but camps outside the house, thinking that someday someone will come out of the house. However, it had become night from afternoon and no one comes out of the house. During this time, Justine fell asleep. Then suddenly the door of the house opens. Alex's mother comes out with scissors in her hand and runs towards Justin in a strange way. However, seeing Justin sleeping, she does not say anything to him. She just cuts his hair with scissors. Well, Justin's part ends here, and now we will see the next part from Archer's point of view. The same single father who was accusing Justin of being a witch because Archer's son was also missing, due to which he was really disturbed. Most of the time he just kept watching the same recording of his son and tried to find some clue. He kept visiting the police station to find out if there was any news of his son or not. The police also just said that the investigation is going on. If we find out anything, we will let you know. Then in the evening, he goes to the parents' meeting. There he again accuses Justin, and even after the meeting, he does not stop following Justin. When she went to the store to buy alcohol, from there he followed her till her house, and he was scaring Justin by ringing the bell and knocking, and he had also written witch on her car. At night, when Archer was sleeping, suddenly his eyes open and it was 2:17 at that time. Then he hears some sound. Archer thinks that it is his son. He starts looking everywhere in the house, but he does not see anyone. Then suddenly the door opens and he runs to look outside, and he sees his son in the distance, who runs away from him in a plain pose and goes into a house. Archer also goes inside the house and starts looking for his son everywhere. Meanwhile, he went to check in the upstairs room where he saw someone lying on the bed who was his son. Archer asks him, "Son, where did you go?" However, he does not answer, due to which Archer starts crying and says, "Son, forgive me. I was not with you. I could not do anything for you. I missed you a lot. I love you very much, my John." Then the light fell on his son's face, in which instead of his son, there was the same strange joker, due to which Archer woke up in fear. He also had a scary dream like Justin. However, he became some clue from this dream. Now he goes outside and looks at the tower there. He remembered that in the dream his son had run in the direction of the tower. That is why he takes the map and draws a line from his house towards the tower. Then he goes to the house of another parent whose daughter had also disappeared. He draws a line from their house too and marks it. He was doing this because the disappearance of all the children was connected. That is why wherever both the lines meet, the house there will be, it will mean that the children have gone there. What was it then? Archer marks the intersection area. That is where the lines were meeting and goes to see that place. However, then on the way, he sees Justin's car. So first he goes to talk to him. Justine was filling fuel at a gas station at that time. When Archer came to her, Justine became irritated on seeing him. She said, "Look, leave me alone. I am not a witch. I did not make the children disappear. I am trying to find out who is behind this." Then suddenly she sees that the principal, whose face is covered in blood, is running towards her in a pose, and in no time he attacks her and starts strangling her. Then Archer comes to save her and fights with the principal. However, the principal was really angry. His eyes were popping out and he overpowers Archer and starts strangling him too, and this segment ended here. We will see the next segment from the officer's point of view. He sits in his car and leaves for his work. During this, his eyes fall on a boy who was peeping into someone's house. The boy started running as soon as he saw the officer, but is somehow caught. The officer asks him, "Do you have any weapon or drugs, etc.?" The boy says no sir, but when the officer starts searching him, the injection needle gets stuck in his finger. It was clear that he was lying, and it is revealed that this boy is a drug dealer and is roaming around with the drug injection in his pocket. The officer gets very angry at him and punches him hard and immediately goes and applies the medicine on his finger. After some time, he wakes up the drug dealer and says, "Look, I am letting you go, but don't tell anyone, and now leave this city and run away from here. Don't be seen here after today, and if I see you again, then you will be in trouble." After explaining this, he let the dealer go, and now we come to know that the bandage on his finger, which Justin had seen and asked about, was the same injury which he was calling strange. After this, he went to meet Justin and then came back to his home, but now we come to know another surprising thing, that the officer is married and his wife is the same lady who had attacked Justin in the store. His wife had become suspicious of him, that is why she did this, and also asked if you had come home. Well, then the officer goes to the police station. He was roaming outside when he saw the drug dealer in front of him. The officer became angry on seeing him. He shouted and said, "Hey, what did I tell you?" On seeing him, he immediately ran away. Then the officer also starts chasing him in his car. That means this time he will not leave him, and with this the officer's segment also ends. The next segment is of the drug dealer. We know that along with taking drugs, he also does theft, etc. He does not have any permanent address, and currently he lives in a tent in the forest. Now, the officer had asked him to leave the town, but he neither went nor stopped his activities. Meanwhile, he reached near Alex's house. With the intention of stealing, he climbed up and somehow entered the house through the window. There was complete darkness in the house. He feels that the house is empty and he starts looking for the things of his use. Then he gets scared after seeing Alex's parents in the reflection of the TV, and he said, "Sorry, I did not do anything." However, then he notices that she is not doing anything. She is sitting like a statue, so he steals the stuff in front of her and fills it in his bag. Now he was about to leave from there when he hears some sound from the basement. That is why he goes to check in the basement, and here we get to know the shocking thing that those 17 children who had disappeared are present in this basement. The dealer gets scared after seeing them and starts running from there. Now he had become only half the stuff, which he goes to the store to sell. Meanwhile, his eyes fall on the poster of those missing children in the shop. On seeing this, his eyes light up because he had found out where the children were. Now he was going to the police station to tell the police and get the reward. However, the officer sees him outside. That is why the dealer has to run away from there. However, he escapes and reaches the forest. However, here he hears a scary laughter. Then he looks around and sees the same Joker-like person standing far away who points towards him. Seeing him, the drug dealer gets scared and runs into his tent. He starts convincing himself that this is not real. This is my illusion. Maybe I saw him because I was drunk. However, then he sees his shadow outside the tent. That means this was not an illusion. He had come here and starts opening the tent. So in his defense, the dealer picks up the injection in his hand, and as soon as the zip opens, he immediately hits him on the face. He finds out that this is the officer. This time he gets even more angry. The officer was about to kill him. However, the dealer says, "I know where those kids are. They are in the basement of that house." Then the officer stops and says, "Okay, take me, show me." Then the officer handcuffs him and puts him in the car, and the dealer guides him to that house. The dealer stays in the car and the officer goes and rings the bell. Someone comes and opens the door for him and takes him in. The dealer was watching all this from a distance. Then he waits for him for hours, but the officer does not return. It becomes night and now the dealer was fed up, and then suddenly the door opens. The officer comes out, but now he does not look like before. He looked like a madman, out of control and in full anger. He goes straight towards the car and takes the drug dealer out of the car and drags him towards the house, and this segment also ends here. The next segment is of the principal. In his story, we will see how he suddenly became like that. So actually, when Justin told that something is wrong with Alex's parents, the principal asked Alex to come and meet his parents. However, instead of them, a woman comes there who tells her name as Gladys and says that I am Alex's aunt. Now, if we look at her face, it is the same one who scared Justin and Archer in their dreams and the drug dealer in the jungle, from which we understand that this woman is the one who is causing all this trouble. Anyway, she tells that Alex's parents are not well. That is why they cannot come to meet right now. So I have come because I am Alex's guardian. However, the principal says that I have to talk to Alex's parents personally. Guardian will not work. So she leaves from there. After this, the principal comes home and sits with his friend and starts watching TV. Just then, the doorbell rings. When they go and open the door, it is Gladys who enters the house on the pretext of asking for water. And here the truth is revealed that Gladys is actually a witch who is very skilled in black magic. Engrossing them in her talks, she takes out a strange thorny branch from her bag. She cuts her hand with it and makes it bleed. Before they could understand anything, she takes out scissors and cuts the hair of the principal's friend. Then she takes out a bell and rings it, hearing which the principal comes under her control. Then she wraps the hair of the principal's friend on this branch and breaks it. And as soon as she does this, the principal immediately attacks his friend. He catches him and throws him down. Then he vomits black color on his face. Then he hits his face repeatedly with his head, due to which his whole face is torn and crushed and he dies a painful death. After this, Gladys takes out Justin's hair from her bag, which she had become cut by Alex's mom when Justin was sleeping in her car, and does the same with his hair. After wrapping it around a branch, she breaks the branch and does black magic on it as well. After this, the principal runs to kill Justine, who was talking to Archer at the gas station. Archer tried to save her, but the principal starts strangling him. Then Justine saves her life and runs into the store, and after some time, the principal leaves Archer and starts coming towards Justine. He enters the store and starts chasing Justine. Seeing this, she panics and starts running here and there. However, at one point, she was not able to find any way to escape. She gets scared. He was running towards her in a dangerous manner. Seeing this, Justine felt that now she is gone, but then Archer comes in between and stops her. During this, both of them get injured. Taking advantage of the opportunity, Justine starts running away from the front. However, the principal, whose eyes were bloodshot, then he starts running after Justin. Justin runs out of the store and sits in her car. However, the principal also came near the car. He starts banging on the window. Then he breaks the glass with his punch and tries to catch Justin. However, the car had already started. However, such black magic was done on the principal that he would not rest until he killed his target. That is why he follows like a missile, and that is why the name of this movie is Weapons. Meanwhile, Archer also came out of the store and was watching everything. That is why he also takes his car and goes after the principal, and then another car comes and blows up the principal, due to which he died there. Then after all this, Archer says sorry to Justin because he understood that it was not his fault. In fact, he himself is a victim. Justin forgives him and says that I have never seen anything like this in my life. After all, what happened to him? When I met him a few days ago, he seemed absolutely fine. Archer says I have never seen anything like this either, but I noticed the way he was running. Those children were also running in the same pose. Then he opens the map and shows her the same intersection area. Justine sees that the house at one of the intersection points was Alex's house, and the segment ends here. The next part is of Alex, where we will be shown Alex's story from the beginning, and now all the secrets will be revealed. So here we see Alex, who goes to his school like every day. Then after school, his dad comes to pick him up and is taking him home. He tells him that your Aunt Gladys is coming to stay at home. Alex says, why is she coming? How will I stay with her? I don't even know her. Then his dad explains that, son, she is very ill and she has no one except us. She is also a part of our family, and that is why we had to help her. After this, at night we see that Alex is reading his book of witches. Then he notices that his dad has brought Aunt Gladys. He saw that she looked very old and sick. She had also brought a special kind of plant with her, which Alex ignores and goes to sleep. Then his dad goes to drop him to school. However, after the school was over, he did not come to pick Alex up. All the children's parents had taken them away, only Alex was left. After waiting for a long time, he decides to go home on foot. He was thinking, why did dad not come to pick me up? Where would he be busy? However, when he reached home, he saw that his dad was at home, but he did not look normal. She was sitting like a puppet and was talking like a robot, as if she was someone's puppet and someone was telling her all this. Same was the condition of his mother. Alex was getting worried, thinking, what happened to my mom, dad? Just then Gladys came there, who looked much better than before. Now Alex used to read stories of witches, etc. That is why he understood that she is a witch and she has done something to my mom, dad. Alex splashes water on their faces to bring them back to consciousness. However, it has no effect. Then Gladys says that she will not listen to you anymore, she will only listen to me. Then she shows him a demo. She takes the same thorny twig and wraps the hair of both of them on it. After doing this, she breaks the twig, immediately after which both of them pick up the fag kept on the table and start shoveling it in their faces. Seeing this, Alex gets scared. He asks her to stop all this. Then Gladys puts the broken twig in the bowl of water kept in front of her, which stops all this. Then she tells Alex that if you want your parents to stay alive, then do not tell anything to anyone outside and do as I say. In this way, she starts using Alex as her puppet by intimidating him. He was doing everything as per her instructions, and every day he sees Gladys doing magic in front of that plant, due to which he was slowly getting healthy and young. But after some time, she again starts becoming old and weak. Then she tells Alex that if you do one thing for me, then I will cure your mom, dad, and will also leave from here. That work was that Alex had to bring something of all his classmates with which she could control them by doing magic. Now innocent Alex had no idea about the danger. He agrees to do this also. Then going to school, he thinks which thing of theirs should he steal? Pencil, razor, sharpener, or any other thing. However, this work was risky. Then his eyes fall on the name stickers of all the children. So he thinks that by removing these, only he can steal the name of the children. Then during the game period, when all the children were playing outside, he goes to the class and removes all the stickers and puts them in the bag. Then he goes home and gives all those stickers to Gladys, who uses them to do her black magic at 2:17. This way, all the children come under her control, and in that pose, they ran away from their homes and came to Gladys. This way, she kidnaps all the children and locks them in the basement. Then the next day, Alex goes to school alone, and slowly the news spreads that 17 children of the same class have disappeared. And when inquired, Gladys handles the matter according to her own way. This way, she had kept 17 children and a couple locked in the dark in this house. She had given the task of feeding everyone to Alex. Alex used to stay in the dark with everyone. He would go to school after feeding them on time. He would not tell anyone anything due to fear. The poor, lonely child was keeping such a terrible secret in his heart. He was bearing everything alone. So this was Alex's story, and now let's go to the last segment of the film, where this story will end and we will understand more things. Here in the present time, when Alex comes back from school, he finds a police car standing outside the house. Inside the house, he sees the officer and the drug dealer, who all stand like puppets under Gladys's control. Then Gladys comes and tells Alex to pack his stuff. We are leaving from here, and goes to do her magic. She had made his parents stand as guards at the door. Meanwhile, Archer and Justin also reach outside the house. Then the door opens and the officer is seen in front. Justine says, I know him. Then she also goes inside with Archer, and then suddenly the officer and the drug dealer attack both of them. Archer starts fighting with the dealer and Justine runs into the kitchen to escape from the officer. However, the officer catches her. Justine tells him what has happened to you. Calm down. However, he does not listen to her. Justine then gets a potato cutter in her hand with which she peels the officer's face so that he leaves her due to the pain. However, she is surprised to see that it has no effect on the officer, as if he is not feeling any pain. His eyes were popping out with blood rushing to his head. He is strangling Justine forcefully. In self-defense, Justine shoots him in the neck. However, even then he does not die, so she shoots him in the head, which kills him. Then she goes to Archer, where the drug dealer was strangling her too. Then Justine shoots him too and kills him. Archer goes to the basement where he starts looking for his son among the children. He does not find his child there but finds Gladys, who snatches his locket and does magic and also controls him. That is why he goes upstairs and catches Justin. However, then there is a twist in the story. Alex reaches Gladys's room while running. Here her black magic branch and wig are lying. Now Alex does what he had learned from Gladys. He wraps Gladys's hair around a branch and breaks it. Now Gladys's black magic works on him. All the children suddenly become his enemies and run towards him. Gladys runs here and there to save her life. However, the children catch her and pounce on her all at once. They tear out her eyes, showing her her whole life. Then the children first break her jaw and then her whole body. After her death, Archer gets well and leaves Justin. Then he comes outside where all the children are standing surrounding Gladys' dead body, in which Archer finally finds his son. Justin goes to see Alex, who is hugging her parents. However, even after all this, no one becomes normal like before. They all live in this life state. Similarly, 2 years have passed since this incident, where some children were getting well but the rest remained the same. Now, why did it happen that those children and Archer became cured? If not the rest, then I will tell you the reason. Now, as we know that Gladys was old and weak, she wanted to remain healthy and young. Now that black magic witch pin through which she controlled all of them and increased her life by their life war, due to which she started recovering, and in this way she used the couple and 17 children for herself. Alex's parents became like living dead and did not become normal like before because there was no life force left in them. Some children were recovering because till then, Gladys had not been able to take their life force completely. Archer also became cured for this reason. This was because not much time had passed since he had come under his control, and thus all those poor people remained in this state forever, like a statue, or should we say like a living